Sharma ma'am to please formally welcome Professor Dr. Sumit Gill sir in this session 5 of AIAIA 2023 conference. Thank you.
So a very warm welcome and good morning to everyone. So it is with great pleasure and immense enthusiasm that I extend a warm welcome to each one of you to the third International Convention on Green Environment Technologies and Entrepreneurship through Innovation Conference 2023. We are gathered here today from various corners of the world, united by our shared commitment to ushering in the sustainable and vibrant future. I would like to welcome Dr. Sumit Gill. It is my distinct honor to introduce to you our eminent scholar and beacon of knowledge in the realm of computer science, Dr. Sumit Gill. With an illustrious career spanning over 2 decades, Dr. Gill has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to academic excellence and has left an indelible mark on the field of mathematics and computer science. Currently serving as a professor with a specialization in computer science within the Department of Mathematics at Maharshi Dayanand University, Rohtak, Haryana, Dr. Gill's academic journey is characterized by a relentless pursuit of both innovation and education. His contribution has not only enriched the academic landscape, but has also positively impacted the lives of the numerous students who have had the privilege of learning under his guidance. Dr. Gill's dedication to nurturing scholarly talent is exemplified by his remarkable achievements, with an impressive tally of 8 scholars having been awarded PhD under him. Dr. Gill's academic brilliance is further endorsed by the prolific research endeavors, with an impressive count of 37 international publications in esteemed journals indexed in Scopus, SCI, and other esteemed databases. He has contributed significantly to the advancement of knowledge in this field. His research reflects a deep understanding of emerging trends and a dedication of pushing the boundaries of computer science. In recognition of his remarkable contribution, Dr. Sumit Gill was honored with the Young Scientist Award by the Scientific and Engineering Research Society. Please join me in extending a warm welcome and expressing our sincere gratitude to Dr. Sumit Gill for taking time out and agreeing to grace the session for today. Welcome, Dr. Sumit.
Morning, ma'am. Thank you. Praised me at such a high level that now the bar is raised. I need to perform more than what I had even planned for. Thank you.
Really, my apologies, sir. There was a technical glitch I was facing with the mic. So you asked that how is the weather in Jaipur? Jaipur, it is absolutely fine. That's little good. Bit of, sunny, a little bit of cloudy, and, high in humidity. But otherwise, absolutely fine.
Okay, that's good. That's good. This online system has marred our visit to Jaipur. That's another thing. But a major glitch at my end is that my university is on a hotline, and at 9:40 still the electricity went off.
Oh my God!
Up to 9:50, I was just thinking how I'll do it. I'll have to rush to my home, or I'll stay back here. What to do? And at 9:50, it was restored.
Restored. Okay.
It happens at times. Not a big.
It happens. Happens. Absolutely, sir. You may start with the.
Yes, sir. Now I'll start with it. First, I'll share my experiences because what I have prepared for the day was 45 slides. But then I came to know that since it is day 3, so our listeners must have gone through the basics of what smart environment is, what green environment is, and likewise. So what I have now planned is that I'll give the real life examples that are being implemented in India. What I have seen from my eyes by visiting those cities.
Okay.
So I'll go with that, and along with it, a brief through the presentation.
Sure, definitely.
So that will be the route plan.
Sure.
Now I'll be sharing my screen.
Sure, definitely.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I am beyond the level of happiness, flying in skies, while speaking to you all in today's a talk on green and smart environment. I have chosen the topic opportunities and sustainability in India because a majority of times our students are feeling that where do they need to go for job. And this field of green and smart environment is providing a huge business, job opportunities in India. And that's where I find that my fellow students must enter into it and they can easily excel into it. Well, during my presentation, you will be able to know that the government of India had initiated for 20 smart cities. I had put a list in my presentation also. And of that, I had visited the 5 smart cities that are being developed in the state of Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh. And what I found there and what I observed there. Well, in last 2.5 days, you must have understood what a smart environment is. But just putting the sensors in place or putting the IoT in place or moving our motors and all the devices, electricity devices, the water sprinkling devices, the greener environment devices into some fixed time or some connecting with online remote mode that we can control them via remote. That's not the case of green or smart environment at all. What it is actually is that this concrete structures that we are building these days are the need of the hour because the size of the land is same, or we can say the land is shrinking. So to make the optimal use of the land, we are required to put up these smart buildings, the smart infrastructure into the cities. To manage the traffics, we do build flyovers in covering entire city. My city is almost 1/5 of what Jaipur is. The city spans into the 14-kilometer area, and it has some 6 bridges, ROBs, and road over bridges also at major junctures in the city. That was necessary, and we cannot call it neither the green nor the smart. So how come this smart comes into being? The smart comes into being when we try to develop the more greenery with the concrete. That comes the green environment. They say that concrete is necessary for saving the space. It's okay. Cannot sustain the heat that is being emitted by those energy efficient buildings. So how to sustain that? If you ever have visited Delhi or Indore or this Bareilly, I found that every pillar below the bridges is covered by green plants. They have created small plastic pots which are being fixed one into other and to cover that whole pillar with the green environment. And then how to water that? We cannot put one person for one pillar. So what they have done is that they have techniques into that. So that is what I have seen. I'll continue with this presentation and I'll explain you the things in between only. That smart environments, we all know, you have studied in last 2 days. And the definition was coined by Cook and Das, who are the professors with Department of Computer Science, University of Texas. The next, that what a smart environment is. Now, this kind of smart environment comes in our homes also. It is at our universities also. It is within the cities also. So what we need, that we need a high quality of life. Yes, of course. I have been to foreign countries, and of that I have found in many of the countries that their sewage lines, the sewage lines were 50 feet deep into the city. Above that was the water supply lines. some 10 feet above the separate line was going, so that the waters don't intermix and the infections don't come to the population or the society. So thereafter, they have put up in just 10 feet deep, they have put up the internet lines throughout the city. In this way, digging up 50 feet deep, they have prepared a high quality of life, because all the things, all the flow of water, different kind of environment, maybe the air, they emit or they are able to provide an environment to the microorganisms. And after this COVID period, you must have learned this also, that we need to preserve the air also, good quality of air also. That also comes into the high quality of life. In the countries like Uzbekistan and even Vietnam. Vietnam is a fully industrialized country, just like China. And the entire belt of those countries, the Philippines, the Vietnam, and even Malaysia, they are totally industrialized. On the contrary, if we look above India in the, say, the Uzbekistan, the air index is just in a single digit. The air is so clear that when we come back to India, we fall sick, that we come from a quality air index or AQI of 8 or 7, straight landing to 250. And you can imagine that how much the skin was glowing up at AQI 8 and now it's at the AQI 250. So we need, the next point, that we need to protect our environment also. That's why we need to make it smart. In Delhi, you must have observed at times that the area is full of smoke in the post-winter season or pre-winters near the Diwali season, when the flow of air stops. The particulate matter is heavy in the air, the flow of air is not there. And at that time, the smoke comes, the fog, the winter is falling, the fog is coming, and the heavy particulate material is there. And both together, they mix up and they make up, build up a good smoke. And that good smoke is very much bad for our health. So again, we need to clear that environment to make it a smart. So clean environment, sustainable resource management, readiness towards disaster, these are all part of smart environment. Now, as per Dr. Posal, these are the three areas. The one is virtual computing environment, other is physical, and then the human environment, which we need to clean. What you can guess about the computing environment? We have our own keyboard. All of you must have seen this kind of smart keyboard, wireless keyboards, and all these, and this kind of mouses. But the thing is that we people don't preserve good habits at times, and due to which there are germs developing on the buttons of these devices. Then the physical environments outside my place of IT, my room, my home, my workplace, my toilets, entire thing, they all carry certain kind of germs that need to be cleaned or that need to be preserved, or we need to put some good plants up there which can attract those microorganisms and kill them ultimately. So all the human environments, and then there can be a hybrid of all these. So these are the definitions which you will find on the net also. And I just have to say one more line out of this, that these the live microorganisms are at the size of nanoparticles also. One time I was asking a question to a scientist from Florida, Miss Lee. She is a senior professor. That professor, after the times of COVID, when we were closing and covering all the bodies with plastic sheets, what was your feeling in Korea and in US? She said one simple word, that even if we don't touch the body and we throw it or we just take it up without covering it, there are so many microorganisms or nanoorganisms in our body itself and in the soil that completely decompose. We don't need another human or something warfare to destroy it, to destroy us. There are sufficient number of microorganisms, nanoorganisms are present in the environment that are able to kill or swipe the entire human range. So to protect all these, the words green and smart are being coined. Wearable computing, pacemakers, AI contacts, your AR viewing equipments, all these are something on different side. But creating a smart and healthy environment is a different side. So to make such an environment, we need to go for some decision makings also. And this is the basic block diagram that we need to make some decisions. We need to make some rules. Then we need some predictions also, the database also, the data mining also, so as to make a complete environment or to design a complete environment. For this, now one is the human part that you are able to see on the right side of the slide, that the naming, discovery, components, mobility of the equipment's point-to-point services. And second is the hardware part that you are able to view on the lower side of the screen. Now, these router sensors, all you must have read in last 2 days. So I am skipping and not explaining these at all. Now, this is a typical environment, a typical home room or a drawing room. And on the other side, we are now predicting the perception, through the perception, the sensors, that the agent, the complete home. At our homes, we have our kitchens also. We have our living rooms also. We have eating, dining rooms also. We have toilets also. Now, the organisms are different at different level. In kitchen, we will find cockroaches. We don't find them on the dining tables. At dining tables, we get the microorganisms. In the living room, or so-called the drawing room, in the sofas, we get dust, termites, etc. And all these are in coexistence with us. So we need to control what action should be taken, that we need to control all of these. So I have depicted all these from this image. Now, these are a few of the IT-enabled things that we are required to make such a smart environment: the remote control of devices, device communications, information acquisition, the intelligent devices, and decision-making capabilities. Now, till now, or even up to 5 years back, all the devices were not called intelligent devices. They were not able to make the decisions. We had the sensors, we had the timers, we had the controllers also. Those were initiating those devices or initiating those, or even if I go by the old definition of computer, that though they were booting the sensors and booting the devices placed at different places. Yes, ma'am, Soumya. Okay. Now, at present, after the introduction of IoT and AI, now we have the predictive and decision-making capabilities. Those are entirely at different level. The technologies, these all you must have read or heard in last 2 days. Again, I am skipping this. These are the devices, the websites, the semantic web, the knowledge graphs, adaptive control, the filters, the parallel processing. One more thing, I won't be able to sustain this kind of lecture because I am also a teacher. So if any listener wants to ask any question, he or she may raise the question, or she may unmute the question and ask me the same, whatever is going in his mind. Because mine is a practical experience on the practical side, and I have seen those systems working. So all are open to ask questions at any point of time. Now about the solutions. Well, if I have described the environment, the green environment, the green sensors, the smart systems, etc., the roads, the bridges, now to make them into the greener side and onto the smarter side, we need these 4 components to be imbibed into everyone. A smart environment, just I told you that a concrete bridge can be there with lots of pillars up there, but we need to cover it with the green plants. Then to water those plants, we need to sustain those plants with the smart sprinkler systems, the smart water drip irrigation, or the timers also. Then we need sensors. And in India now, these sensors are available. that checks the moisture content into the plant soil. That whenever we require to water, it will signal and water will be put into the plant. Otherwise, it will keep on the system on a standby mode. Then the smart mobility. Now in smart mobility, what that has been carried out in the city of New Delhi, the capital of India, they have considered two different things in case of smart mobility. One is the mobility of human beings from one place to the other. It may be through a metro train or by the electric cars, electric vehicles, and likewise. Second is now they are talking about the smart mobility of plants. That when we put up, say, 200 plants in on a pillar of a bridge, at times, say after 15 days, out of those 220 plants have already died in that environment or not able to sustain in that environment. In such a case, those 20 plants will be replaced after every month or whatever is the time slot they have planned for. So now there are two kinds of nurseries in the city. One that is preparing those plants and other the team that is putting those plants in for the creating the green environment. In case of green buildings, they prepare specific kind of landscapes and they prepare specific kind of drip irrigation systems up there that are able to provide water to those plants put at difficult places. And to all the students, how much greenery can be added to any green environment in a year? That was the question that was raised by the scientists in a conference at Delhi. The answer that emerged was 10% of greenery can be added in any green environment. Say my MIT University has 2,000 plants. 10% is 200 only. So 200 can be inserted at any point of time. And in case of the smart mobility, we need to preserve 400 extra plants at any point of time that can be mobilized, that can be put into the place so that the areas that were put into the smart environment zones, they can be continuously put into a green environment. So smart mobility and smart environment, now these two are interconnected. The next thing is smart living. Well, clear when the India was shortage or it was facing the shortage of electricity, we were not considering the issues of smart living. Never were they part of thinking or the thought process or the part of the planning. Now, when the electricity is sufficiently in place, we are thinking of smart living. What comes in smart living? That we need not put switches on and off into the house at times, or we need not keep the ACs running. All of these are now put up with the IoT devices. In say, here I would love to take the example of my university. They have provided sufficient number of ACs to the faculty and the students. And all those areas have been put up with IoT switches, which sense that there is a human in the room or the program or in the room. So all these devices are pre-programmed by the, say, tablets or the phones that the person is living up there. And these do not work up for 24 hours. So the wastage in terms of electricity is saved. And though one-time cost is there, the normal switch, IoT switch, can cost up to $1,000 at times. But smarter things, when we put them into the bulk, 500 rupees per switch. Say there are, if I say around 1,100 ACs running in my campus. So buying 1,100 switches and putting them on smart mode has saved more electricity. And then the last one is smart people. That how we can be smart. We can be smart that when we are able to make this kind of smart environment sustain. Well, I remember the lines of Britishers of prior 1947. They always used to call bloody Indians. When you go to foreign countries, we observe at times that yes, they are saying something right for us, because we need to be smart at first. Nobody created remdesivir injection in duplicate throughout the world. It was we, the Indians, who created a duplicate Remdesivir. We create a duplicate Apple phone, we create a duplicate Samsung, etc., etc. But we also waste our own resources for which we need to be on the smarter side. I'm able to remember here a line from a movie Lage Raho Munna Bhai, where on the radio set, someone complains that the person eats a pan and spits the red liquid onto his door. So yes, it is habit in many parts of India, and the younger generation is already covering those areas. I find these days students smart enough that they switch off their own lights into their hostels and into their rooms. The things are changing, but we need to put it on a fast track. So these are the smart cities that in the world, how many are smart cities, how many are the people into it, and what was the investment, nothing to already must have been covered. Environment development, I have already discussed with you that how this environment is done. The only component from this slide is that renewable energy and waste reduction. This is also important. Both of these are important as far as India is concerned. In case we were not utilizing the renewable energy because producing that renewable energy was not cost effective for Indians. We were getting electricity supply at the cost of say 4 rupees per unit, and while the cost of installing a new system was beyond 5 lakhs for a 5 kVA system. So the supply was already cheaper, so we never thought in terms because we were having the hydroelectricity. That once a dam is made, we get the supply for entire life. Similarly, is the case of waste reduction. Dear students and listeners, the faculty members, every green area has large number of tree leaves, plant leaves that are threaded by those plants, and those come onto the ground. The only thing here is that we need to collect and segregate those plant leaves, the flowers, the dried flowers together separately. We can put them in pits, we can put them into the creating the manures also, and we can put them for developing the smart agriculture. But the compost formation, now the compost machines are coming for the universities itself, which are of the size of a large size generator, that we put up entire leaves or the decay of flowers and all into that machine, and it produces the vermicompost, which can be reused into the entire campus, into the pots, into the say land that is being used for producing the crops. So the waste reduction and its recycling, both are being given importance into this smart city environment. Now, those of you who have visited who have seen the Jaipur 20 years back, it was different. It was a smaller city. Now it has grown up. You have a metro line up there. You have large bridges spanning kilometers up there. All of these are creating smartness for the city, but they also require the energy also. You need electricity also. They emit heat, the concrete and the heat we need to make it green. And now there are trees on both sides of the roads I have seen at Jaipur. But this waste segregation, its collection and recharge can make together a good climate change. Now the component is that what makes a city environmentally smart. The basics I have already discussed. I'll just breeze through that. The technology based on AI requires humans. Then sustainable energy. What is it? How we can use? It includes the solar energy, the wind energy, the water energy, and even the energy from the waste of our homes. Then green spaces, that all the smart buildings can be put into the green spaces, and the green environment, the urban heat effect that needs to be taken care of. And that's why they build up the green columns of plants across the glasses, across the concrete the surfaces, across the building, complete strand, vertical plants, vertical agriculture is there, vertical plantation is there, so that the heat emitted by those buildings is being covered up or is being taken care of. Then there is a grass absorb rainwater also. I told you in the beginning that we do take care of the sensors that tell us the moisture content in the plants or in the soil across the plants. Now, whenever there is extra water, that can also be put it into us or seepaged into some downstairs into the area, and then that can be collected. I am not able to show, but I can visualize that we have the plant pot stands where the extra water into the pot that comes down and then again collected into a pit from where it can be sprinkled into the greener areas, the grass and etc. That is already in place. Rainwater harvesting you already must have learned. And now for the state of Rajasthan, well, 5 or 6 years back, we had never heard that Rajasthan, but for last few years, every year there are floods in part of Rajasthan. Though it is good at one end that it will bring something good. The floods also bring good soil. They also bring the moisture content. They also bring the microorganisms into the environment. But yes, they do bring us big loss of money and life. So with the increase of greenery, we can certainly cover. In the northern Rajasthan or even up to the Jaipur, these days I am able to see the greenery when I come from Haryana to Jaipur. Then in the down south, in the region of Udaipur, there are sufficient number of lakes and enough greenery is there. Well, in northern Rajasthan, I have seen that the drip irrigation has created a multi-plant, multi-green environment that not only the shisham, the kikar, kher or those kind of plants are there, but we see the greener plants like the shisham, and even the rose farming is up there at many places on this Delhi-Jaipur highway. All these have been feasible because of those sensor and the drip irrigation. This is the greening that I've already explained, that how we can keep the street buildings as green. If we put up more plants, we have a 10% or 20% of spare plants to replace the dying plants. The effect that comes out for the lifestyle is called as a greening. Now, this is a typical figure that you can see that the entire environment has been created green. The building is made up of glass, and this is what greening is. That they have put up the iron rods on which these creepers can sustain their lives, and these go, and then they are able to retain the heat inside the building. The buildings don't emit heat. And in the reverse season, in the season of summers, the sunlight is also curtailed so that an efficient cooling is maintained in the building. This is the kind of environment that you are able to see in many universities in Delhi, that they have separate spots for separate kind of plants. They maintain if you see on the right side, in between the stones, the browner area, these are just the dead leaves. And the central pots, these are inhabitants for the leaves, for the plant decay that acts and creates manures. And the smaller pots that you are seeing on the right side, these are the vermicompost areas where we do put some organisms into the soil along with this leaf and plant decay, and then the vermicompost is created. Over the time, those smaller pots, longer pots of 1 feet height that you are able to see, now the soil in it becomes manure, and that is being used as a replacement soil. Benefits of green environment, you already must have heard in last 2 days. our cities. We need to save these cities, and these are some of the methods. Now, these are the 20 smart cities that have been designated by Government of India, and all these cities are being developed, and our city is at number 3. What I had visited is at number 11, 12, and your city is at number 3. Now, these are the applications, a few applications of integrated smart and green infrastructures. Majority of these are in place in entire North India. The stormwater management. In this, we also have the groundwater harvesting. Say in my campus, there are 48 different wells that have been bored up to the 250 feet deep, where they are able to provide the rainwater straight into the clean water layer of the ground. Flood water management, the coastal infrastructure, not in North India, but in South India. Waste management is being taken care of. I have seen at Jaipur also, there were 2 kinds of dustbin at public places, the blue and the green. The transport management by the way of electric vehicles, by way of metro, etc. Then the recreation and outdoor spaces management. This is the thing that is coming up in India, and that was in East Asian countries some 20 years back also, that they create large size of parks where the public is being promoted to come and play. In India, we have put up the non-electric, the manual gyms into the parks, and now people are coming up with the yoga mats and their recreation activities, because a good mental health also is a part of your smart infrastructure. Because if the persons are not feeling good, they'll definitely go to the terrorist-like strikes, damaging the sensors, damaging the switches, or in our old classes, we have seen the students who are damaging the electric switches also. Now the times have changed. Students have changed, and now we see that classrooms remain clean and they require little upkeep into the entire year. That's what is asset management, the last of this. Then green sustainable living, the future of real estate in India. This I have taken up from the plan that Government of India initiated to build these smart cities. So skipping these, the reducing carbon footprint, all are a thing of a decade back now. Energy efficiency and cost savings. Yes, I've already discussed with you the energy savings in terms of electricity, in terms of water, in terms of manures or vermicompost and all those things. And then recycling, the recycling of water, the recycling of air, the recycling of own bio wastage, etc. Spaces we have already discussed, the good environment, the good homes, the rooftop gardens, the vertical gardens. Vertical gardens are coming up in almost in every building now. I've shown you a pic already a few slides back. Then promoting sustainable communities. Yes, it will take a time, but certainly time will come when the society will make itself available with the bicycle lanes, the charging station, the community gardens, and people will take care of those gardens on their own. Government initiative incentives, you all know that leadership in energy and environmental design has been a motto of the present government, and they are doing it up great. Then benefits of green homes. This green infrastructure, I think yesterday I was listening to a talk by some professor in the afternoon, and he had already discussed this kind of thing, that benefits of integrated smart and green infrastructure. After this, the 4 pillars of smart cities, the physical infra, the social infra, the economic and institutional infra. Surprisingly, Jaipur has all of these. Physical infrastructure, what its involvement is already discussed. Social infra already discussed. That's all from my side. Questions open to all of you, please.
Participants and students, if you have any kind of questions and queries, then you are more than welcome to ask. And a very eminent professor and scientist is sitting in front of you, and you are quite fortunate enough to interact with him. So this is a fortunate opportunity. Try to get as much as knowledge as you can. So I would request the students and the participants to please raise certain questions related to the topic. Sir, as of now, in my case, let me tell you, I'm also working in this with my wife, Dr.
Okay.
Arpita Banerjee. So yeah, and our topic is basically related to the leakage localization and detection in smart drip irrigation, and that too using cellular automata. So yeah, so
You have
prior
mixed up the bio also.
yeah, absolutely, sir. And we have used one-dimensional 1D cellular automata, and now we are extending it to two-dimensional automata, cellular automata. There is a agricultural research center in Durgapura. We got a small land also at that research center, but due to this COVID situation, since it is a
Things are
government
different,
institution,
yes.
they refused. Later on, director said that since it is a government institution and there is a lockdown nationwide, so you won't be able to perform the experiment. So what we did, we took a small bag, HDP pipelines and all, and we constructed a 6x3 small setup at our home only, and we tried to experiment on that. So we developed a small app that was a machine, in fact, calibrated, and we were able to detect the leakage within 7 centimeter. Prior it was 11 centimeter, according to the research. So that was one of the achievement.
That's
and
a good success. That's a good success.
And we are now extending it further so that we can reduce that particular localization further.
Chitresh, Dr. I would like to share my experience.
Yes, sir.
In
Please.
COVID, one was switched off all of a sudden. We were having availability of seeds in our university. It's a huge university, and we have 14 Department of Biosciences with biotech in agriculture biotech also, and human biotech also. So since the vehicles of our university were able to roam around the city to carry the patients, we asked the drivers to open our labs, kindly bring such and such and such seeds for us, and we cut those large blue drums vertically, horizontally, and we put them on our roofs.
Okay.
In 1 month of time, I was having sufficient amount of green food to eat.
Okay.
That take around 15 days to develop.
Yeah,
and if we use some compost also, they are fast enough to make up.
Absolutely.
So for the remaining time, and in 1 month's time, onion also came up, the tomatoes also came up. Then the summer came up.
Okay.
Because it started in March.
Yes.
May. So we arranged some old green cloths and we rented it out. Then came up, the universities opened and we were asked to report back. And now how to sustain that? Took the locally rubber pipes from the city.
Okay.
Cut these kind of pen caps.
Okay, fine.
Cut them into half from here, inserted them into pipe, and made our own drip irrigation systems. And for a 250 pot setup, 250 one trays of size 2 feet by 3 feet. 250 trays are in place in my house only.
Oh, seriously.
And now my father grows vegetables in it, and we have home veggies. So that is what we got from the COVID.
Okay.
That an entire ecosystem was developed.
Ecosystem, what is it? So during our research, it was way back in 2017-18. We went to that agriculture institute that I was, just shared with you.
Durgapura.
Durgapura, exactly. So you won't believe, sir, government, they support each and every activity. They create awareness also, but the farmers, they are reluctant to go for this type of drip irrigation, and you won't believe only 1% are using this drip irrigation. Now slowly, gradually, it is taking place. Now it is growing slowly, gradually. Then hydroponics has also come into the picture. So
what a farmer is. He is too poor to store his produce. He cannot store it because he don't have money.
Absolutely.
He gets that money. He goes for his kids' marriage. He goes for his children's education, then his own sustainability. So he is not able to buy the drip. When the government provides 50% subsidy, then also only 20% of farmers in Haryana, I say, they are able to go for the drip irrigation. Then the government increase it to 75%. And then you'll see that the entire districts adjoining the Rajasthan, the Mahendragarh, Bhiwani, Loharu, up to Sirsa. Now they all are growing the vegetable gardens and fruit gardens also. The kinnu, the oranges, those are now available in that entire belt. Earlier they were used to come from Punjab. Now they are available in the entire belt bordering Rajasthan.
Okay.
And at my university, we are just say 100 kilometers inside the Rajasthan, from the border of from Jaipur, to be precise. With these kind of modern techniques, we are able to grow avocado in our campus.
Okay.
We are able to grow apples, which were at Himachal Pradesh. Now we are able to grow up at this place. The low-cart, that was a produce of Madhya Pradesh, that is also being grown up here. So everything we are able to sustain now. So only thing is that farmers are not able to have that financial
as well as technical also, sir, because technique plays a very important role. And although government is giving subsidies, but that is not enough. They should give subsidies 100%, or because these drip irrigation systems, they are not very costly. There is a Jain irrigation system in Jaipur, probably in Rajasthan, and probably they are also serving other states. So they are charging a very hefty amount for small petty things, because I myself have created that drip irrigation. So I know the cost wise, it is very, reasonable and cheap. But the only thing is that, they are the masters, they are dominating it. So we need to break that nexus, actually. That is the important thing.
Small nozzle in a drip irrigation.
Yes,
that
sir.
clogs that often.
Yes,
when
sir.
we replaced it with the pen cap, the Renault 045 cap.
Yes, sir.
We inserted it, stuck, cut, that's it.
That's it. That is all, actually, sir. And even the soil sensors and these Arduino or Raspberry Pi, they do not cost too much. The only thing is that the farmers are not that technically savvy to calibrate it, to join it, to those remains the future research directions, that how we can reduce the cost.
Right.
Create awareness. But yes, drip irrigation, especially in Rajasthan, because Rajasthan, we normally say that it is a dry state. So water scarcity is there. Water scarcity is still there, sir. And now Bisalpur water has come. So, there are many colonies which are now getting good water. But still, if you go to the outskirts in Rajasthan, especially to Jaisalmer, Barmer area, Pali district, then you will see that, water scarcity is there. So this drip irrigation can solve it.
They have not put up water lines up to that place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once that system comes into the place, that thing will also be solved.
Yes, absolutely. So it was really nice, sir, interacting with you. I will be in touch with you.
Same here.
I will be in touch with you.
Same
and
here.
It was really a very, educating and, very nice topic which you have touched upon. And it is vast, potential, future-wise, if you see. So thank you very much.
Dr. Chitresh, I would like to say one more thing that I say to all the faculty. That when we go for a vacation, say to South India, by train or by air, the normal expense is almost 8 to 10,000 per person. Say a flight from Jaipur to Goa will cost around 7,000 or 8,000. eating. The same amount is required to travel to our Russian countries, the Dubai, and East Asian countries, specifically the Vietnam and the Philippines. I'll share you a few photographs where they have put up bougainvillea plants at the center of the road. And then in the structure, they have put up 3 or 4 pipes up to a height of 18 feet. And at 18 feet, they have branched the pipes on the outward direction and put up the circles. The bougainvillea plants, when trimmed, they went up straight, 18 feet. All the bus cars are able to move in a smoothly. And on the top, they have designed up like trees.
Yes.
And bougainvillea never requires water.
Yes.
So the two things that I started from, that going to south, that don't go to south in this on the same amount. You visit these countries for a holiday or for a study tour. That comes very much into our pocket. These are pocket friendly.
Absolutely.
And instill those ideas in your university. Because tomorrow they will be the models that have been created by your students under your able guidance. And they will be the models that the university will depict to everyone.
Absolutely.
That's a few of the things I am carrying, and I'll definitely share with you in a few.
Please do share
today
it.
Only.
It will be very,
So
yes.
give shape to your agriculture. Membranes will come up on the lower layer, but not in the sky.
Okay, fine, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks to all of you, all the listeners. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So now we are going to continue with our paper presentation. It was scheduled from 10:45. So right now it is 10:58. There are 8 papers in this particular session. This is session number 5, and we have amongst us Professor Dr. Sonal Jain and Dr. Arpita Banerjee as the session chair. So I formally welcome Professor Dr. Sonal Jain ma'am and Dr. Arpita Banerjee ma'am. I'm going to read out their profile so that you may also know that where they are working and what is their experience. Dr. Sonal Jain ma'am is professor with over 22 years of academic experience. Before joining PG Department of Computer Science and Information Technology, Sardar Patel University, Gujarat, she has served Department of Computer Science and Engineering, JK Lakshmipat University, Jaipur, and GLS Institute of Computer Technology, Ahmedabad. Dr. Jain has several publications to her credit and has presented research papers at national and international conferences. Dr. Jain has co-authored several books, including Personal Computer Software under Villay Publication, India, Simplifying C under DreamTech Publication, and 6 textbooks for Gujarat State Education Board. She is currently guiding 2 PhD scholars, and 2 students have been awarded doctoral degree under her able supervision. She is committee member with IAC SIT Singapore and reviewers of various conferences and journals of international repute. She has been visiting faculty at University of J. Salai, Slovenia, Hungary, and also visited Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences under faculty exchange program at JKLU. She is recipient of grant for project by SEED division of the Department of Science and Technology, DST, Government of India, as co-principal investigator, Australian Innovation Patent Grant, Young Scientist Award for initiatives, discoveries, and development in the discipline of information retrieval by Venus International Foundation, Chennai, in December 2016, and Vaigyanik Drishtikon Award at 4th Rajasthan Science Congress. Her area of interest for research training and consultancy includes artificial intelligence, information retrieval, and natural language processing. On behalf of this session and Amity University Rajasthan and ICG TI 2023, I formally welcome Professor Dr. Sonal Jain ma'am. The second session chair is Dr. Arpita Banerjee. Dr. Arpita Banerjee is Assistant Professor and Head of Department in Department of Computer Science, St. Xavier's College, Jaipur, with over 14 plus years of academic experience. As a prolific writer in the arena of computer science and information technology, she has contributed some chapters in books on multimedia system and e-banking security transactions. She's also a member in 5 international society associations. She has contributed a significant number of research papers in journals and conferences of national and international repute. She has acted as editor in 2 international journals and is organizing member in 5 national and international conferences. She is also reviewer of 10 international journals. Her area of interest includes topics related to cellular automata, Internet of Things, smart agriculture, and software security. I formally welcome her on behalf of ICG TI 2023. So now I'm handing over the session to Professor Dr. Sonal Jain ma'am and Dr. Arpita Banerjee ma'am for further proceedings. The first paper, you may share the screen. Mr. Sumit Malhotra, the topic of the research is proposed model integrating AI for identifying and destroying the infected crop. Before proceeding, I would like to apprise the participants that you are been given 8 to 10 minutes time for presentation. So please give a very brief introduction of your research work, followed by your problem area, the solution that you have proposed, and the conclusion. And within 8 to 10 minutes, please wind it up. Thank you. Thanks a lot. So over to Sumit Malhotra, please share your screen.
Good morning to everyone. So, is my screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Convert it to show mode.
Is it all right, ma'am?
No, it is not in a show mode. Press F5.
Can I start, ma'am?
Your presentation is not in a show mode. Please press F5.
Show mode. Okay.
Yet not. F5 की प्रेस कर दीजिए, अदरवाइज व्यू में शो पे चले जाइए, ऊपर व्यू मेनू में. Sumit, you are not able to do it?
Just a minute, ma'am.
Okay.
Now it is visible? Is
Sumit,
it visible? Yes,
Sumit,
yes, sir.
this is visible, but what you have to do, you can see a minus sign down on the right bottom part of your screen. You know, adjoining to that, there is a small slideshow presentation. So just click that presentation and bring it in slideshow mode.
Okay.
Or else you can, what you can do, you can also press F5 key on your keyboard to bring it to the slideshow mode.
Okay, sir.
Join again.
You can join from the mobile, but then the problem.
I didn't mute you.
सुमित बॉटम में तुम्हें दिख रहा है ना बेटा, नीचे माइनस साइन दिख रहा होगा तुम्हें अपने स्क्रीन पे, माइनस, जहां से हम जूम इन जूम आउट करते हैं.
I have provided the remote access.
No. This is there with you. You are
Okay,
since you are sharing the screen, all
Okay,
access is
okay.
provided. F5 key press कर दो.
Just a minute, sir.
हाँ.
Now it is visible, sir.
Yes, yes.
Now
it
it
is.
is fine.
Okay. Okay, apologize for this.
Please continue.
Okay. So, first of all, warm regards to all the organizers of MIT
Sir, please
University.
share your slides. It's just stopped.
It stops, sir.
Share it, sir, once again.
Okay. Is it visible now, sir? Is it okay, ma'am?
It is visible, but it looks little bit distorted.
Distorted.
But you shall continue now.
Please
Okay,
continue.
okay. So apologize for that. So my topic is proposed model integrating AI for identifying and destroying infected crops. So this is a hypothetical model. This is a hypothetical model based on edge computing. So like in edge computing, you have to compute the systems which are near to you as compared to cloud computing which are far away from you. Like in case of Wi-Fi, so this is similar in case of edge computing. So in this paper, I have first do the research on various image processing techniques and find out their pros and cons related to that. So this is the introduction of this, that we have to prevent the crops for being damaged, and for that we have proposed a model which use the technologies of computer vision, image processing, robots, and edge computing. Mainly it is for edge computing, and we first study the functions for various image processing, that what are the algorithms available for image processing. So there are some algorithms which requires less computation, whereas some algorithms require higher computation, and the higher computation algorithms can do the justification well as compared to those algorithms which require lower computation. Like first one is the color based features algorithm, which works on mean and standard deviation of RGB channels, and there are texture based algorithms which works on entropy of grayscale images. So we find some pros and cons related to that. Like for color based images, they are sensitive to light conditions, and they're and limited to disease that result in noticeable color changes, and they mainly struggle with the subtle color changes or patterns. Whereas in texture based images, so these type we have to we require careful selection of appropriate textures, descriptors, and settings, and they can be computationally more intensive compared to color-based methods. So we can combine the algorithms also that we have discussed earlier, that is color-based and texture-based, and we can create a vector out of them that that works for both the parts.
Sumit,
So regarding
hello?
right, yes ma'am. Yes
हाँ,
ma'am.
इसको normal mode में कर दो because the content is not visible to us.
Okay. Is it okay, ma'am?
ठीक
Is
है,
it
मुझे
okay, ma'am?
ये मोड का इशू नहीं लग रहा है, वो मैंने जो बोला मोड का इशू नहीं लग रहा है. हाँ ठीक है चलो आप यू कंटिन्यू.
Okay.
इसमें तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं दिखाई देगा वो मोड वापस से.
Should I go to the previous?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I have discussed color-based and texture-based algorithms and their pros and cons, and we can combine them both, so that when we can create a vector out of them that should work on both the parts and give us the accurate results. Like there is one example that we studied from the literature review, that we can combine both CNN and naive-based algorithms for plant disease detection. So, okay, in this we extract the features from the images from CNN and then use the feature vector as input for naive-based classifier, which works on the probability parts. Now, like for higher computation, we have CNN and RC, faster RC and CNN. The faster RCN is better as compared to CNN because it narrows down the region of interest and make it faster and more accurate for detecting objects in the images. Now, the motivation of the proposed model which works on the edge computing is the Google Maps, which works on edge computing, that wherever we are traveling, it gives us the exact locations that where we are. So these are some devices which are near to us and they do the computation and provide us the results. So this is the proposed model flow chart, that we will have a robot in the field having camera that will take the picture of the crop, and that the picture of the crop will be sent to the nearby edge computing device, and the edge computing device will apply the image processing algorithm, and that can be a transfer learning also, where we already store the features, and based on that it sent the signal to kill the infected crop. So signal can be sent in the binary form, zeros and ones, where one is no and some disease product, then amount of the disease is not much, then robot can kill the infected crop itself with its actuator. So this is the proposed model that we propose for plant disease detection. This is a hypothetical model. So like for the bots to keep on working in a good way, we require a high hyperspectral imaging sensors to be fixed in the robots, and other parameters to be considered are gripping strength of the robot, path planning of the robot, feedback and control disposable mechanism. And we find that the CNN algorithm can work good for the hyperspectral imagings, which are high quality images, but there are some challenges that we have to consider. Architectural design, we have to adjust the number of the input channels, the number of the hyperparameters to the things to be work well, and then we have to do some dimensional reduction to get the if there are dimensions which are more than 3, so that we can reduce them into less than 3, so that we can get a clear picture about the we get the most important, the feature vectors related to this. And there are some challenges related to this. The biggest challenge is the lightning conditions, the outdoor conditions. So this kind of model has a drawback of that that the robots, we cannot send them as such into the fields if the weather is not according to the requirement. So this is the drawback that we find in this. And the cost of equipment and infrastructure required to deploy this thing will be larger, and this is happening in the developing countries, but in the developed countries this kind of technology need to be addressed. So this is all about the presentation.
Sumit, the proposed model which you are talking about is talking about all kinds of crops.
No, ma'am, it is the crops which are infected from the plant diseases.
But you are talking about a robot which would be moving around and taking the images.
Mm.
So then you need to take
Mm.
care of height, weight, size of the crop, type, well, basically types
Yes.
of the crops.
Yes, yes.
So
Like first
what is
we
the-
have to train our model which is in the which is working as a edge computing. So like we first train the model and provide the required hyperparameters to them, so that like a transfer learning model. So the thing is that we want to store the required results in the edge computing, so that if we provide the data through robots, so it can be calculated easily.
Okay, what I perceive
So we
is
can use a TensorFlow Lite for this
that
to
everything
convert
comes
the.
when actually images are captured properly. In your case, the proposed model says that robots will be working and they will be capturing images. The challenge more lies in the capturing, receiving it.
Hmm.
So if you continue this work, I believe you need to take care of that first, rather than the later stage. So thank you, Sumit.
Sure, ma'am.
Audience, anybody, Arpita ma'am, would you like to? No, no.
Thank you, ma'am.
I do have a question.
You need to ask them.
Acha. So I have one question. In continuation to what Professor Dr. Sonal Jain ma'am said, there are certain issues which you need to take care of before capturing the image. One is basically the light. If it is a cloudy
Yes.
scene, or if it is sunny, then the pictures that you are capturing, in that particular situation, how you're going to tackle that? The images may give you a wrong picture. That
Yes. So that I mentioned in the challenges, sir, that the low light condition is one of the challenges. So
you
I
need
have
to
mentioned here.
take care of that, because that is
So
the only challenge which needs to be
yeah.
addressed.
Yes.
The
Yes.
researchers are working on that, because otherwise capturing is something different, and if you do not capture the right image, then the further research that you will be carrying out using those samples will be of no use to research community. You
So
need
what
to
we
take
can
care of
do
that.
is that we can deploy a lightning condition on the robot, that if
That
the
you have to
robot
see,
feels.
actually. That you have to see.
Yeah,
I'm just
that we have
suggesting
to
you
see,
this
sir.
part.
Right, sir.
Thank you.
So thank you, Sumit.
Thank you.
Next is Paridhi. Is she there?
Yes,
Paridhi Jain?
ma'am.
Yeah. You can share your screen.
Yes, ma'am. Is my screen visible, ma'am?
It is, but convert it to show mode. Press F5.
Yes.
Now
Yes,
it is.
ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. My name is Faridi Jain. I am a research scholar from Department of Psychology, Manipal University. The title of my research is Use of AI in Special Education, Emerging Trends and Challenges. I am doing this in the supervision of Dr. Suesha Singh, ma'am. So the aim of my research is to, the primary objective of this is to explore both the benefit and limitation of using AI-based application in special education, and the research aims to delve into the practical implementation of AI strategy within the context of special education. So I'm giving a brief introduction. So we are using digital technology to become inevitable part of our lives, and it just in everything, like every aspect of our life. So it is also getting used in the field of educational settings as well. So many countries, they started incorporating these digital technology in educational and special education setting. People with special needs, they can benefit greatly from these technology because they used to experience several kinds of problems in adjusting to a normal scenario. So, for example, they face difficulties in being part of the regular workforce and being adjusting it to a normal scenario. So if we talk about the stats, so as per WHO, it was estimated that 1.3 billion people, or 16% of the population of the globe, they have a disability. These people are denied equitable employment opportunities. They suffer from social marginalization, prejudices, stigma, lack of access to healthcare services. So these AI-based technology, they can make life easier for people with or without disability. So by using these AI special education services, it may enhance the educational outcomes for the students of all ages and educational background by tailoring learning experience and providing targeted supports and implementing AI-based algorithm and intelligence system. So this is a narrative paper and we use that secondary data. So that this is the thing we are going to talk about in this paper. Mainly we are focusing on the limitation and the current scenarios using AI in special education domain. And we try to synthesize a comprehensive overview of current trends and challenges pertaining to its implementation for children with special needs. So, to begin with special education. So, as per UNESCO, special education, it is also known as special need education. It refers to a distinct course, institution, and programs for study created specially for children who are classified as having exceptional educational requirement. According to the legislation, these children they have equal right for the educational opportunity, but they need some extra support uh, as compared to the normal children. So if these kids struggle to study in the traditional education system, then only alternative classroom arrangement needs to be made. So there are some basic type of disability. For example, there are certain type of sensory impairment, for example, visual impairment, hearing impairment, chronic medical illnesses, and orthopedic impairment. If we talk about the psychiatric disability, so one of the most common psychiatric disabilities is intellectual disability, formerly known as mental retardation, autism spectrum disorder, learning disability, ADHD, slow learners, giftedness, speech and language impairment. If we talk about physical and neurological disability, like epilepsy, neuromuscular disorders, TBI, traumatic brain injury, muscular dystrophy, and cerebral palsy. So for these kind of children, we need to provide some special education trainings. So because of this thing, they have different kind of special classroom. So these special classroom, they have several characteristics. For example, there are less number of students. So in the special classroom setting, there are number of students is less than 10. So and their teachers are also different as they get different training. So they have special trained teacher. These special trained teachers they used to prepare individualized educational plan for each and every disabled children. They have barrier-free and less restrictive environment. And with these kind of children, team of professionals used to work together. For example, team of professionals include psychiatrists, pediatricians, psychologists, physiotherapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists, psychiatrists, social workers. In these special classrooms, they use assisted devices as per children's need. They have resource rooms where n number of things are placed so that the children learn not from their books only. They can use their toys and various different kind of learning materials. So the special educator, they used to provide practical learning. They also use this parental training and counseling services, and they also provide inclusive education services. So artificial intelligence, as we all are aware of, it is an umbrella term that includes several different forms of technology, including neural network, machine learning, and algorithms. So these are the techniques which we can use in the special education field. Certain techniques are still getting used, but certain are not. So one of the most common example of AI-based service which is used in special education is virtual reality. These are tri-dimensional computerized created environment, chatbots, educational robotics, learning management system, intelligence tutoring service, pedagogical agents, classcraft, and 3D holograms. So if we talk about the current scenario, so I'm talking about as per the impairment or as per the disability. For example, with the children with SLD or speech impairment, Roebi robots are commonly used. So Roebi robots, these are the mainly AI-based robots which used to spot the speech difficulties in young children. So children with speech difficulty, ID, Down syndrome, and ASD, they can benefit by using these kind of robots. Other thing is optical character recognition, OCR. It uses a variety of algorithms to analyze the visual patterns and structure of letters in photographs. There is voicing. So it is a voice recognition and translation program. People with speech impairment and hearing impairment, they can use these kind of apps. Speechify Speechify, it is also a AI-based software. It can convert text into speech. If we talk about ASD, so with the autism spectrum disorder, fuzzy logic and artificial neural network. These two platforms, they are useful in locating and diagnostic ASD in children. An ASD-based game is also called as life game. Life is game. So children with ASD, they can use this game and they can identify facial emotion. Because the people with ASD, they felt difficulty in identifying and understanding different kind of emotions. There is one more software that is called as Equadex. It is created by Microsoft. So this Equadex platform, it enables the children with ASD to interact with other using pictograms and other visual cues. So children with ASD, there is SVM algorithm. It helps mental health professionals in identifying ADHD in young children. There is one more thing, that is quasi-instructional planner. It is an ITS-based system that provides individualized training, feedback, and assistance for children with ADHD. If we talk about visual impairment, there is an app Seeing AI and Lookout. These both apps are AI-based apps. So these apps, they analyze and interpret visual data taken by a person's mobile device camera using algorithm for imaging recognition, computer vision, and natural language processing. Hearing impairment, so there is a Microsoft Translator. It is an assistive technology for that.
Try to conclude and keep your
Okay.
video on. Your video is not yet switched on.
Okay. So if we talk about briefly about the advantage, so these kind of AI-based services, it helps in early identification and early diagnosis. On the basis of that, we can provide IEP services. It can help in designing effective educational and treatment plan. It keeps the record of all the progress of the child. It is easily accessible, so parent or the special children, they can access it from help anywhere. It used to provide timely feedbacks. So to conclude, these are some basic limitation of AIs, as there is lack of privacy, there is no regulatory authorities. The accuracy is also questionable. There is an absence of emotional and social support, and it can also impact the children's cognitive ability, and it can, lead to job loss for the special education. So for the practical implication, promoting AI literacy is one of the most important things, and there is a need of more detailed and comprehensive research on use of all these AI-based services. For the theoretical implication, it is really important to develop AI-based ethics because just if you want to stop unethical behavior, there should be a regulatory authority. And also there is also need of comparative analysis for the use of AI-based services in the field of special education. So to conclude, this technological-based innovation, it helps in the field of special education as it can improve and help the children with special needs, and it can help these people to integrate in the society. So it can also affect, it can, also increase efficacy and quality of instruction. And the ethical use of AI in the field of special education can raise the level of education and improve the standard of living for those with disability. Additionally, it can also help in designing the effective planning, effective treatment, effective education program, and effective employment opportunity for these people. So to employ AI to its full potential in the field of special education, a collaboration between several stakeholders is necessary, including special educators, mental health specialists, doctors, researchers, and other professionals. These are the references of my research. Thank you so much.
The session is open for question answers. Anybody from the audience?
I have posted a question since my mic is not.
Pariti, see the chat window. There is one question in the chat window. Dr. Ajita has.
Yes.
Sorry, Ajita.
Cost, which plays an important role. Actually, the cost is it is not mentioned because some of these services are not available in our country. So certain activity like certain software are free of cost. These AI-based apps, there are certain apps which are free of cost. For example, Speechify or Microsoft-based test. Speechify's VoiceSet. Okay, these softwares are free of cost. but there are certain services which are costly. Like for example, if I give you example, so like for example, these social robots, these are not completely available in our country. For example, as I mentioned, Roibi robot, optical character recognition, these services are not free of cost available in our country. So for these services, person need to pay. I can understand that the cost plays an important role, but for the initial phase, I think we can say that we can, use the at least free of cost services. Because if we can use this free of cost services, especially in the special education, special school setting, it can enhance the children's learning. Certain services, ma'am, they are feasible for common mans. Like for example, there are so many apps for hearing impairment and children with the speech impairment. These services are free of cost available, and most of the people I know, they are using these services also. So there are so many apps which are free of cost available on the Play Store. Anyone can easily download these apps and they can use. Yes, ma'am, we have special educators. So special educators who have done special B.Ed and M.Ed in special education from a RCA approved institution, they help these people in using these software and these services. And they are also getting trained in these services. So they are using these services in special schools. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, so thank you, Paridhi. Now our next presenter is difficult to pronounce. Elminavi.
He's my student.
Okay,
He's from
difficult to
Sudan.
pronounce. You shall start, Elminavi. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Please take care of timings as well. You have 8 to 10 minutes.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. My name is Minav Osman. My research under the title of hello.
There's issue in your audio.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Now we can hear.
Yeah, my research under the title of HDLB, air quality modeling with hybrid deep learning and particle swarm optimization in a time when environmental issues are top priorities. These outlines serve as a roadmap. Without further ado, let us delve into the key points that guide our discussion. Undoubtedly, all of us know the hazard and risk of air pollution poses a major threat and to health and climate, especially here in India, because India is the one most polluted country in the world, and India is currently exposed to high level of ambient and household pollutants. So it is necessary to estimate air pollution density and inform the public to protect their health. And this by using air quality index is essential basic for measuring air pollution. Because air quality is usually affected by water, traffic, physical activity, meteorological items, and other factors, it is very difficult to accurately represent it and predict by the statistical method and shallow machine learning method. We need data-driven models to hold large amount of data, and deep learning there has become a hot topic and considered as a core technology of industry, and can play a key role in building intelligent data-driven system according to today's needs because of their excellent learning capabilities from historical data. And more we dive deeply, more we extract complex features and gain new insights. The main objective of this study is to build a computational model. It's a combination of two deep learning structures, CNN, LSTM, convolutional neural network, and long short-term memory with particle swarm optimization to improve forecast accuracy. And the sub-main objective is to demonstrating the effectiveness of high deep learning method for environmental application. It's the methodology when we are going to predict air quality or any criteria pollutant such as PM2.5 using a combination of deep learning and BSO, there are many methodologies, and here I can outline the methodology. Number one is the data collection and pre-processing, gathering data, historical data of air quality or PM2.5 concentration, along with the relevant meteorological data and geographical and environmental features, clean and pre-process the data, handling missing value, outliers, and standardization features. And here it is very important to keep in mind that the data pre-processing is a heavy and sensitive when building deep learning model, because the performance of deep learning model depend on the quality of the input data. So data pre-processing is important part of any deep learning algorithm. We can see here, this is a collection of data, and there is meteorological data such as temperature and humidity and wind speed, wind direction. And data pre-processing is the exploratory data analysis and standardization of data and scale all the data in the similar range to faster convergence and weight initialization and regularization and avoiding exploiting gradients. And once the data is clean and pre-processed, it is ready to fit model and machine learning. Another step of methodology is feature engineering. It is something related to extracting the relevant features such as meteorological data. And CNN is a convolutional neural network. Is typically the feed-forward architecture can effectively extract features from data and image. Also, LSTM is a long short-term memory, is one of the best tools for sequential data analysis, useful for modeling and understanding sequential or time-dependent patterns. It's commonly used in tasks such as time series forecasting and natural language processing. And the LSTM takes the sequence of features mapped from the CNN layers as input and captures the temporal dependency in the data. And by using their cells memory and gating mechanism allow for capturing long range dependency data. The output of LSTM can be fed into additional layers for further processing or prediction. Create hybrid models that combine the output of CNN and LSTM. Then we use optimization algorithm, particle swarm optimization. Is a meta heuristic and population-based algorithm inspired by the behavior of bird flocking or fish schooling. We can utilize BSO as an optimization technique to fine-tune hyperparameter of the model, such hyperparameters such as the number of LSTM layers and the learning rate, is the epoch, the batch size. Then we can define the fitness function that represent the model performance. BSO optimization optimize
Conclude.
parameter.
Please conclude.
This is the design of architecture. This is the CNN LSTM and BSO optimization for training hyperparameter. This is the implementation. The first step, we can use discrete wavelet transformers, the mathematical tools used to analyze signals and decomposing data into different frequency. We use it and it provides multi-scale analysis, efficient compression, and also remove noise. The second, we can use BSO as a computational technique or computational tools. And the third step is building the hybrid deep learning approach with the adjusted parameter by BSO. The evaluation, we can use RMSE or mean absolute error or R square to compute the difference between predicted value and actual value. Then we can make a visualization and interpretation and refinement of our proposed model, going through exhaustive study and comprehensive of literature review. And the outcome of this comprehensive literature review is this proposed this model is the combination of CNN LSTM with BSO, and we are going through specific parameter in the recent papers such as feature extraction, type of data, influence factor, and method accuracy optimization algorithm. We make the comparative or comparison study between the current cutting edge model, use the evaluation like as I mentioned before, RMSE, MAE, and R square. And the performance is illustrated, the incorporating of optimization algorithms present a novel approach, and there is trade-off exist when considering the utilization and optimization algorithm. This is the graph of model evaluation. We can see that the genetic algorithm it is the best one, but you know, genetic algorithm don't care about large amount of data, and also it is time consuming, and that is why we prefer particle swarm optimization, because you know, all the choice of optimization algorithm or deep learning structure basically depend upon your data, upon your behavior of it. The results undeniably indicate that when working with the limited data and without factoring in additional variables, the genetic algorithm emerge as optimal choice. And BSO family, more reliable, very fast convergence, effectiveness, and strong and resilience. And from here, we propose this model, and also we can use the mathematical tools such as a discrete wavelet transform to fast the convergence and dealing with the data in different scaling. And in order to enhance accuracy and reliability, we are make the cycle of virtuous cycle.
Please conclude.
Yeah. So this study is incorporates the fusion of technology and environmental consciousness, and the issue of air quality is still on the table. Combining CNN and LSTM with BSO is great. We can improve the environmental monitoring, make decision and public health. There is in the future we can improve the accuracy by using the hybrid deep learning, and also there is a challenge to consider, such as quality of data and complexity when we combine the traditional model with the advanced deep learning model. The intensive of computational and limited computing power. Also, domain knowledge is very important because here in India, I think there is lack of multivariate data in this field. And thank you.
Any questions from the audience? So may I have you? Salmini, I would like to know what is the output of your model?
Yeah.
What is the output of your model?
This is model proposed. This is a proposed model for.
I understand, but what is the output? Finally, what are you trying to give? Whether it's a binary classification that the air quality index is good or bad, or it is multi-class classification depending on the scales, or you are going to give exact air quality index as an output.
Yeah, I'm going to predict air quality or BM 2.5 concentration or any particulate, any criteria pollutant by using the combination of CNN with BSO. Also, I'm looking for good tools for extracting input, because maybe input data, maybe image, and dealing with the time series to make. Now I'm working on this model, and I got a good result, but I'm going to clean my data more and more to use sophisticated techniques to get a good results and make something like standardization or benchmarking my result.
So output is still, I didn't get my answer. So output is air quality index.
Yeah, no, not air quality. BM 2.5 concentration. I'm going to predict for 24 hour, for 11 hour. It depends in the sequence of.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Dr. Arpita has a question. Just have a look at chat window. Okay, so let's have a next presenter, Akhilesh.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm sharing the screen. My screen is visible or not?
Yes, it is.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to say thanks for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I am Akhilesh Nagar, presenting a paper on machine learning approach in modern network environment to combat the DDoS services attacks. Under the guidance of Dr. Sapnesh sir, my paper ID is 29. These are the outlines of my PPT. First of all, this is the abstract of my paper. A proper DDoS attack address the significant danger to specialized cooperatives. More explicitly, a DDoS attack aims to annoy and deny any help to real customers by wearing the target with the countless malicious requests. This paper examines ongoing research on DDoS discovery techniques that have adjusted single and crossover machine learning approaches in today's organizational conditions. In addition, this paper talks about the various DDoS protection frameworks in light of ML methods using a virtualized climate, including distributed computing, and many more. This document is expected to help the local exploration area with the design and improvement of the convening the security framework equipped to convert the various type of DDoS attack. This is the introduction of my paper. The DDoS attack have become the increasing complex in recent times. Attackers introduce the malicious programming known as the expert DDoS with the ultimate goal of monitoring a group of compromised machine located with the similar organization. New connected ideas, namely DDoS as support, or reduce the specifies the difficulties related to the executing and attack board attacks. Machine learning procedures are considered a feasible method to identify the DDoS attacks. The current significant framework use machine language studies close to other identification models include interrupt recognition framework and host-based interrupt discovery framework, with the ultimate goal of actually responsible to cyber attacks. In this paper, I have this is a related work. Several previous studies have talked about the using different forms of machine learning to deal with better DDoS attacks. Most such reviews have dealt with a topic in the conventional or explicit organizational climates. In addition, some previous research has focused on the use of machine learning procedures to combat the obsolete attack types, which are currently not relevant to specialized organization. Since certain innovations can be tied together and incorporate, it is important to provide the review of DDoS protection framework in the machine learning approach under different current organizational conditions. The current review will help the exploration of local areas with the planning and creation of new successful and realistic responses to counter the DDoS attack. As such, arguments help review procedure provides to the lower their risk of succumbing the cyber secure attacks. This is the attack classification. This part patch the cutting edge circumstances as the DDoS attack and make sense of how they are introduced and directed. By the large DDoS attack address a method for focusing on the casual organization foundation and web server to deliver the admin inaccessible to real clients. DDoS attack become more confounded with when they include the botnet, or at least gathering of compose the gadget with the assault a particular object and accordingly make its internet based admin be blocked off. So the HTTP overflow attack are expected to domain a web server's assets by using a huge amount of HTTP demands created by the botnet. This type of assault completely affect a web server assets, including its local drive units. slow and flow rate DDoS attack. Due to slow and low speed attack, the attacker creates traffic to the victim's web server and then kept the association open or dynamic without response until server assets are consumed. Device is commonly used to target slow, low-speed DDoS attack, including slow, low-risk, soft, stress, and Rudy. To achieve this type of attack, an attacker must indicate the limit of the target URL and the number of attachment to be executed at the same time from the source of attack. Basically, this is the DDoS protection classification founded on machine learning procedure in IoT malicious. IoT have been subject to critical examination in instant time in associate countless real-time devices or things around the planet that are capable to collecting and sharing the information over the internet. IoT works with pupils everyday life by connecting different items like vehicle, home, kitchen, machines, and many more with the smart devices that can get and send the information across remote organization without the requirement of human associations. This the creator used to join the entropy strategy in the element extraction stage. The size of data set used in the analysis increased from 10,000 to 20,000 and contained the conventions such as ICMP, UDP, and TCP layers. The result of the evaluation showed that the proposed system. These are the discussion and research challenges. After a survey and extensive research of accepted proposals of machine learning to combat the DDoS attack have been conducted, further improvement are expected to plan and foster a sound relief strategy in view of machine learning method. Another preparation in the sense of new genuine data set that allow the specialist to evaluate their method and contract the result and other work. As attackers are equipped to develop new strategy and put more effort into effective DDoS attack, many effort to elevate the restricted type of such go there, which render the methodology defenseless against other type of DDoS attack. There are some examination challenges in building a convenient, workable protection framework using machine learning, data set, feature selection, flash crowd, travel protection scheme, primary recognition, attacker limit normal user with help of botnet.
Akhilesh ji, please conclude. अच्छा आपकी conclusion slide आई गई है. That's nice. हाँ.
Hello.
Yes, please conclude, है ना?
Yes, ma'am. This is the conclusion of my paper. DDoS attack have become considerably more difficult to mitigate in recent times. Attackers have tracked down better approach to fine-tune current advance in circumventing security effort. The document explained the accessible DDoS moderation approach in view of machine learning or deep learning method in different scope and current organization conditions. In addition, this document, this paper discussed the various DOS attack ordered to machine learning strategies. Finally, this paper investigate a part of difficulties currently facing the field of research and frame the important reflection regarding the plan of visual and useful protection framework to combat the DDoS attack. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, questions from the audience? Akhilesh,
yes, ma'am.
After doing this survey, what do you think? Which challenges are achievable? Which challenges do you think that actually, yes, you can work upon?
Ma'am, actually, DDoS attack is a malicious attempt to disrupt the normal traffic of the target server. DDoS attacks are carried
that
out.
is clear enough, and people have been working on this issue since long. This is not a new.
But problem is the daily in IoT में इतना daily discovering हो रही है कि आपको daily नई challenges face करने पड़ रहे हैं और नई प्रॉब्लम से आपको face करना होगा. So this review will focus on the exploration of local area with the planning and creation of new successful and realistic responses.
Posted the question.
So there is a question in a chat box also for you.
Oh, okay. Can you mention some challenges of DDoS under IoT conditions? Challenges under previous work did not examine the use of machine learning to deal with DDoS attack. The main challenge आपका ये जितनी भी IoT devices है सेंसर से प्रॉब्लम आती है मैम. Sensors are not working properly, or hacker easily hack the data because all data आपका cloud से connect है. So main challenge है cloud और sensors को कैसे protection provide करानी है.
Yeah, Akhilesh. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Can we have next presenter, Shreyansh?
Sure.
Shreyansh Verma. Machine learning for discovering archaeological sites in Rajasthan, India.
I hope my screen is visible.
It is.
Yeah.
Press F5, show mode.
Yeah.
Shreyansh, please stick to time, maximum
Sure,
10
sure.
minutes.
Absolutely. So my title for the paper is Discovering Archaeological Sites. Personally introducing myself, I am Shreyansh Verma, a third year student at BITS Pilani, pursuing BE in Computer Science and MSc in Physics. Moving on to the topic. So the topic is project title, Exploring Archaeological Sites Discovery through Machine Learning, Data-Driven and Geospatial Analysis. So what I aimed with this research paper is to discover more archaeological sites. So Erin, what's an archaeological site? So as you can see on the screen that there are like archaeological sites, and now I refer to the previous civilizations like that of Rakhigarhi in Haryana or Mohenjo-daro in Pakistan. Why are these important? These are important because they help to study various fields of sociology, evolution, history, etc. Many sites have been discovered. Some famous ones are Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, and one more site is there, which is Kalibangan, which is located in Rajasthan, where my major interest of study is. Okay, so moving on to the next. So this was the paper that I referred majorly, and my research delved deeper into this research paper itself. So this research paper was conducted by majorly by Hector A. Oringo. His site was Cholistan Desert, which is located in Pakistan. And the problem statement or the major goal for this research paper was also to discover archaeological sites. So ground data was referenced by a survey done earlier by Mughal and team, which is located in Pakistan. And then they used Google Earth Engine or random forest method as an ML algorithm. So they gave 5 training sites and left 24 validation. And the probability threshold for random forest model was set to be 0.55. Total 337 sites were discovered, but on careful inspection, only 71 sites could be linked to the actual sites. So now my research starts from here. So totally I used 14 bands on Sentinel-1 and Sentinel-2 satellites. So basically Sentinel-1 and Sentinel-2 are 2 satellites employed by European Space Agency, and they give over, they use 14 bands. So basically Sentinel-1 had a total of 12 bands and Sentinel-2 has two bands. The major aspect of VV and VH, which stands for vertical, and vertical horizontal data. These are 2 basically attributes that help to determine the data for various sites. I demarcated a region, as you can see on the image below, which consisted of Sri Ganganagar, Hanumangarh, Anupgarh, etc., situated in Rajasthan itself. One issue that is faced by Sentinel-2 data is of masking the cloud images, because cloud can play a hindrance in these researches. So I had to mask them. Sentinel-1 didn't have this issue. Moreover, I took the data for a span of 2 years to have a median image, because in the varying seasons of rainy season, or be it the winters or summers, the soil texture or the data that I'm getting will vary. That's why I had to take a median for 2 years of data. Then I demarcated various training sites, fields, urban, water, desert, brickyard, etc. So that I can have a various classification of all these specified attributes. But my major concern was with the sites. So I used two ML models. The first one is CART, or known as classification and regression tree, which had a testing to testing ratio of 70 to 30%. And the second model that I used was of random forest, output to multiple decision trees to reach a single, like basically there are various decision trees and their final result is counted. Also here I used training to testing ratio 70 to 30. As you can see the image on the in the below, that the image has been filled with various colors. The green demarcates fields, the white demarcates a patch of sand or desert, basically. The black demarcates brickyards, and the yellow, if that's very fine, but those are the sites that were discovered. This started from this image that you can see on your left. So on further processing, what my study involved was filtering the false positives. As I've got many small yellow sites, but out of them, only a few are of significance. So that can be done by eliminating isolated high probability pixels. So I specified a radius size of around 1 or 2 pixels, and then run the algorithm for demarcating only those sites. This significantly removed all various false positive sites. And as you can see, on the left, there are two known sites, which is of Pilibhanga and Kalibhanga. And on the right, there's a detected site that I detected through a model, which is located in Badopal. So then my research paper basically involved applying some qualitative measures. So as we know, these are civilizations. So one thing that we can all think of is these sites should be existing in proximity of any pre-existing river. In my case, it was Ghaggar River, which is located in Rajasthan itself, which is a pre-existing river. And they would be near to a present-day settlement. That's my second point. And the basic feature that can be inculcated in this is that the heights of these mounds are basically the archaeological sites. And third, elevated. These are basically have an elevation of 5 to 10 meters. And then the fourth point is that of reddish texture of soil due to watering. So as you can see on the left side, the mounds basically have a reddish texture. So if we can observe these through the Google Earth images, then it's a probable site. Moreover, these are the stats that I used. So total known sites that I knew that were previously known by ASI, Archaeological Site of India, was 16. I gave 5 for training, and the detected ones was 15. So basically a like accuracy ratio of 15 out of 16. And unknown detected that I was saying, the yellow sites were around 300 to 400, but after careful inspection, only 71 could be detected from my model. Moreover, after Archaeological Site of India visits them and various researches happen, these would be narrowed down to more specific ones. So these were the major references that I used during my research paper. Thank you. Any questions, any suggestions are open.
You have posted questions. Please check chat window.
Okay. So the first question is, what is the geographical area you have taken? No, Ashok. All the civilizations are very wide. This will increase your data sets. Can you please elaborate, like all the civilizations are very wide, like in the sense of geographical area?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's say the Harappa civilization is based on a very broad area, but those of Kalibhanga or Pilibhanga are located in a very small area. So the major issue that happens is because of the smaller civilizations, because they are not easily detected. They are often covered by fields or by forest or anything, and that hampers our research because the VV and VH index are different for a leaf or basically a crop. So that hinders. If on a mound a crop grows or something grows, then the research is hampered. So I used two ML algorithms. The first one was CART, classification and regression tree, and the second one was random forest, having various attributes, parameters, hyperparameters. So random forest yields a better result. Yeah, by like I would say Why? Because it has various attributes. So let's say a random forest has 5 to 10 trees that I specified on myself, and then the different trees and the probability index, the threshold probability basically is specified by me. If I increase that, the probability index increases and the site detection becomes more relevant to us. In card, that's difficult to do.
Okay, Shreyans,
Yeah.
as you're training machine to identify this archaeological sites, what if actually some old home is there with a big terrace and old things are being placed and nobody has seen, maybe actually abroad with there, something like that, and nobody has seen that site
Yeah, yeah.
for many years? How then that capture would look like an archaeological site? Don't you think? How would you evaluate your model?
So firstly, that I told you, like the unknown sites detected are approximately 400, and then it narrows down to 71 through this, like without visiting the site basically. So this process is done by us, or basically there are various
Manual intervention is
measures.
there to identify whether this is archaeological.
Absolutely, absolutely. After like getting to a narrowed range of like
What are the
200
attributes
sites,
to declare that this is an archaeological site?
total attributes you want to know?
What
Yeah.
few attributes you can say that yes, this picture was not an archaeological site?
So basically, the last slide mentioned various attributes like the reddish texture or the elevated mound feature or the surrounding features that can help us to detect whether it's an actual site or not. Moreover, the accuracy I won't say is 100% because after visiting the site, the archaeological site can tell that whether it is or not, because after excavation and all the methods they do, that's only the result will be 100%.
Yeah, because some closed factory is there which has not been cleaned for
Absolutely.
many years.
So
that
in
also
my
looks like
research,
the archaeological site, and sometimes
Yeah.
why not garbage place looks like an archaeological site from upper side. When you are training machine learning model, in that case, how to distinguish between two images? Say yes, these were the things which were actually utilized long back, and you found it. Yes, this site is archaeological, and we need to preserve it. Or no, this was a garbage which has not been picked up since last 5 years, and this
that's
is not.
why archaeological site has to go and like discover. That's like machine learning cannot give you 100% accurate results always. So, and like in my research paper also, the brickyards were a major area of concern because they actually were contributing to many yellow spots. But after like specifying
Me, I think
brickyards,
pictures of graveyards would also look like archaeological sites to the machine. And that's my, I feel so. I may not be correct.
like I mean, in my research, it
ऊपर से
didn't
देखोगे तो
pop up,
ऐसे ही
but
लगेगा
yeah,
कि यार ये भी ऐसे ऐसे boxes जैसे पड़े हुए and छोटे
but the thing is, the
छोटे
VV and the VH, the satellite is measuring the index, right? VV and VH. So that's basically different for soil and basically different for whatever the graveyard is made of.
And so like quite extensive work and thought process is required to
Absolutely.
create this model. Anyway, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
यही बेटर है.
So our next presenter would be Rakshana. P. Rakshana. Acha, Rakshana is not there. Then Dr. Nilesh. Dr. Nilesh.
Good morning, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
Okay, thank you.
Start your session.
Okay. Is it visible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So, good morning to all dignitaries and colleagues. Myself, Dr. Nilesh Jain, and I'm going to present my paper on Streamlit. So, Streamlit, the title is Streamlit, Transforming Data Analysis Scripts into Powerful Web Applications. So basically, Streamlit is an open source application framework for machine learning and data science teams create beautiful web applications in minutes. So basically, currently, developers and our colleagues are working on Anaconda kind of tool, and they are not able to upload their data on the web in an easy way. So Streamlit provides an framework through which you can directly transform your data into hosting companies or hosting, and provides beautiful graphics and designs. So abstract is data analysis extracts insights from complex data sets. Streamlit converts analysis scripts into web application scripts and enhance accessibility and impact of data analysis. So the introduction. So traditional analysis scripts having limited reach. Streamlit, what do? It will transform scripts into web applications, simplify process with intuitive API, which provided by the Streamlit team, and overview of Streamlit. Next. Features of Streamlit: simple workflow, interactive data exploration. It will make visualization very easy. We can share and collaborate these graphs and details because it is on the web. And use cases of Streamlit. So we can create data dashboard, exploratory data analysis we can do with that. We can showcase machine learning model through this Streamlit framework, collaborative data exploration, data science, education and training. All we can do easily with Streamlit. Real-time application of Streamlit, like real-time data monitoring, like in share market or in real applications, we can monitor the data, what is current going on. Sensor data visualization, any kind of sensoring kind of data we can visualize. Financial market analysis we can do with that, like for any app like Angel Broker and this kind of app, we can provide financial market analysis on the web. Social media analytics we can do with real-time collaboration and feedback we can take. Live chatbot analytics, real-time data streaming and processing, like on YouTube, you can got how many viewers you are having and how graph is going on and down. This we can do with Streamlit. And live sports analytics. So Streamlit popularity, it becomes very popular among data science, engineer and machine learning developers day by day, because it's user friendly and vibrant community, easy of use, seamless integration, because it provides Python API. So you can easily integrate with your Python applications. Streamlit sharing feature is there and industry adopting it day by day. For a Python framework, because Python is also very popular. So this framework will provide very intuitive lookout and feel. Streamlit statistics. So Streamlit statistics on GitHub, you can see the graph, like from 2019 to 2030, it becomes day by day popular. Same way, its popularity become enhancing day by day. Community size, so currently having 149K developers, 9+ countries, 32 creators, and 16,000 around forum users of this Streamlit. So over 27,000 of GitHub stars over there. Lots of packages are downloading day by day because it's gaining its popularity. Hosting and sharing platforms are also providing this facility day by day. Although we can configure and provide the things, but still some of the hosting companies are providing it. by default. So it is an image that how an example, like how can you real time check the data? You can see that if you select the services job, and automatically data will be generated from this. So, and conclusion, Streamlit empowers data analytics very easily, transform scripts into powerful verbs, enhances accessibility and impact, simple workflow, interactive features, popularity due to communities and easy of use, and bright future in data science. These are the references. Thank you for your attention. Any query you can ask.
No, thank you, Dr. Nilesh.
Yes, ma'am.
So let us conclude this session. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 papers presented in the session. And I thank all the presenters to be part of this session. They very well presented the entire session. And I would also like to thank Amity Group for inviting me as a chair. And with me, actually, we have Dr. Arpita as a session co-chair. Her mic is not working, so let me talk on her behalf as well. Would like to thank Amity Group for inviting us and being part of this session. Thank you. Special thanks to Dr. Chitresh, who has coordinated this session along with his mentee, Vahil. He has been helping us in the entire session. So thank you so much.